The husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was attacked during an early morning break-in at the couple's San Francisco home by an assailant who was searching for the speaker and shouted, "Where is Nancy?" according to a person briefed on the case. Early this morning, an assailant broke into the Pelosi residence in San Francisco and violently assaulted Mr. Pelosi. Drew Hamill, a spokesman for the speaker, said in a statement, "The assailant is in custody and the motivation for the attack is under investigation." Police arrested 42-year-old David DePape and intend to charge him with attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse and burglary, according to San Francisco Police Chief Bill Scott. The police confirmed reports that Pelosi had been attacked with a hammer. Scott said officers disarmed DePape and both men were taken to the hospital. The assailant was looking for the speaker and, before assaulting Paul Pelosi, shouted, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" according to an individual who was briefed on the attack. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe details. Paul Pelosi, 82, was taken to a hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. The
crime tape all over the neighborhood. Paul Pelosi is at the hospital receiving treatment right now. He's expected to be okay. Officials say a person broke into the home and attacked him. The person was quickly arrested and is currently in custody. Nancy Pelosi was not in the home during the attack. Police are now investigating the motive behind why someone would go into their home and hurt and attack Paul. Of course, the question remains also, how did a person break into the home in the first place with all of the security the Pelosi family has at this home? Speaker Pelosi says she is grateful to first responders and police. We've reached out to San Francisco police to get more details about this attack, but we have not heard back yet. I'm Sarah Stinson reporting in San Francisco. Back to you.
Speaker and her family are grateful to the first responders and medical professionals involved and request privacy at this time, Hamill said. The U.S. Capitol Police said in a statement that it is assisting the FBI and San Francisco Police in an investigation of the break-in and attack. Special agents with the USCP's California field office quickly arrived on scene, while a team of investigators from the department's Threat Assessment Section was simultaneously dispatched from the East Coast to assist the FBI and the San Francisco Police with a joint investigation. U.S. Capitol Police said Nancy Pelosi, who has been fundraising and campaigning with Democrats around the country, was in Washington at the time with her protective detail, according to Capitol Police. The Speaker, who is second in line to the presidency, has a security detail provided by U.S. Capitol Police. The Speaker had been in Zagreb, Croatia earlier this week for a forum on Crimea, returned to Washington to meet with Israeli President Isaac Herzog, and was in San Francisco on Wednesday morning for an event at the Golden Gate Bridge. Because he is not an elected official, Paul Pelosi does not receive protection from the United States Capitol Police or any other entity when he is not with the Speaker, according to 3 people familiar with the security protocol. President Biden spoke to Nancy Pelosi to express his support after this horrible attack. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a statement, "The president is praying for Paul Pelosi and for Speaker Pelosi's whole family," Jean-Pierre said. He is also very glad that a full recovery is expected. The president continues to condemn all violence and asks that the family's desire for privacy be respected. Senate Majority Leader Charles E. Schumer said in a statement that he expressed his concern in a call with the Speaker. "What happened to Paul Pelosi was a dastardly act," Schumer said. "I spoke with Speaker Pelosi earlier this morning and conveyed my deepest concern and heartfelt wishes to her husband and their family, and I wish him a speedy recovery." In a tweet, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell wrote, horrified and disgusted by the reports that Paul Pelosi was assaulted in Speaker Pelosi's home last night. Grateful to hear that Paul is on track to make a full recovery and that enforcement, including our stellar Capitol Police, are on the case. Rep. Steve Scalise, the No. 2 Republican in the House, echoed those comments in his own tweet, writing, "Disgusted to hear about the horrific assault on Speaker Pelosi's husband Paul. Grateful for law enforcement's actions to respond." Scalise said, "Let's be clear, violence has no place in this country. I'm praying for Paul Pelosi's full recovery." House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says he contacted the Speaker per a statement from his spokesman, Mark Bednar. Leader McCarthy reached out to the Speaker to check in on Paul and said he's praying for a full recovery and is thankful they caught the assailant. The statement said, Rep. Pramila Jayapal, who was recently threatened at her home, said Speaker Pelosi was very sympathetic to the need to get additional security for members.
Crime tape all over the neighborhood. Paul Pelosi is at the hospital receiving treatment right now. He's expected to be okay. Officials say a person broke into the home and attacked him. The person was quickly arrested and is currently in custody. Nancy Pelosi was not in the home during the attack. Police are now investigating the motive behind why someone would go into their home and hurt and attack Paul. Of course, the question remains also, how did a person break into the home in the first place with all of the security the Pelosi family has at this home? Speaker Pelosi says she is grateful to first responders and police. We've reached out to San Francisco police to get more details about this attack, but we have not heard back yet. I'm Sarah Stinson reporting in San Francisco. Back to you.
Hey. Hey, Rob, can we close that door so we don't get the noise? Okay, good morning. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chief Bill Scott with the San Francisco Police Department. At approximately 2:27 this morning, San Francisco police officers were dispatched to the residence of Speaker Nancy Pelosi regarding an A-priority well-being check. When the officers arrived on scene, they encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi's husband, Paul. Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it. Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, disarmed him, took him into custody, requested emergency backup, and rendered medical aid. The suspect has been identified as 42-year-old David DePepe. Mr. Pelosi and Mr. DePepe were transported to a local hospital for treatment. This is an active investigation currently being led by the San Francisco Police Department Special Investigations Division. We are working closely with our partners from the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the U.S. Capitol Police, and our district attorney here in San Francisco County, DA Brooke Jenkins, and her team. The motive for this attack is still being determined. Mr. DePepe will be booked at the San Francisco County Jail on the following charges: attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, burglary, and several other additional felonies. Before I go any further, I'd like to thank the responding officers for their swift action this morning. Those San Francisco police officers are Officer Colby Wilmus, Officer Kyle Cagney, and Sergeant Edmund Hoang. I'd also like to thank our emergency dispatcher, Heather Grimes, who's standing here to my left, for a really amazing job. For inquiries regarding Mr. Pelosi and his condition, we refer you to the statement issued by Speaker Pelosi's office this morning. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our district attorney, Brooke Jenkins, for a few brief comments. And let me say in advance, this is what we know at this time. We will update you further, but we will not be able to take any questions after this statement.
When a man with a pistol shows up outside a congresswoman's house, she really recognizes the changed threat to members in this environment, and particularly after January 6th, Jay Apple said, referring to the 2021 attack on the Capitol. Jay Apple added that the need for security for family members has been an ongoing concern because family members don't receive protection, and that it has been a challenge because such arrangements must be approved in the appropriations process by both parties. Paul Pelosi owns Financial Leasing Services, a San Francisco-based real estate and venture capital investment and consulting firm. He met his wife while studying at Georgetown University. She was a student at Trinity College at the time. The Pelosi's have been married for 59 years and have 5 children. Paul Pelosi was in the news in August when he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of driving under the influence and causing injury stemming from a May car crash in Northern California. In 2021, the Pelosi home in San Francisco's Pacific Heights neighborhood was spray-painted and a pig's head was left on the sidewalk in the early morning hours of New Year's Day. The incident was apparently in criticism of Congress over insufficient coronavirus pandemic relief.